Their games are, yep, that's
right?
true.
And
That's
with that being said, we're going into the drafting phase. Yuzong traveling up. And now again, this is going to be crucial. As we saw in the previous matches, the drafts matter a lot.
Okay.
Well, if this game goes to a tiebreaker, it will be the first game to have that scenario today. But so far, all the audience predictions are going for the side of Team ONIC, and also all the talents prediction is going for the side of Team ONIC. So let's see together what does Team BTR have to show us today to prove us all wrong.
Well, Faramis ban coming out from BTR. Kind of tells me that they wanted to go for assassins right now. Nolan and Joy gonna be the top priority for both teams, and ONIC are just focusing on the backship and thinking that BTR might just go for utility junglers.
It's very interesting as analysts when we look at the ban, we have a very good idea about what they're going for. Betting on the Fanny, you can say it's more of a respect ban, making sure that Kyrie doesn't get that for himself. But I would say the Faramis shows that they want a bit of burst, and the Faramis can deny that all day. So this kind of shows a little bit about what they want. And like you said, perhaps assassins in the jungle, but going up against Kyrie, is that a good idea?
Generally,
I would say the better question, going up against Keyboy, is that a good idea?
Generally no. Generally no, but then again, if you don't surprise ONIC, like if you just play whatever you did or however you did in the in their previous league, for example, that will not be enough. So if they have this assassin kind of gameplay, maybe they can show something to us. Maybe that could be the good course of action for the side of BTR, especially because Coach Shieb and the gang might not have seen it before.
But Team BTR Suns at this moment, they are not focusing on a certain player. They are not focusing on a certain strategy, I would also say. And what's actually mentionable is that Team ONIC, and especially Kyrie, even though there was an era where utility heroes were ruling everything, he kind of stands with his own assassins and still makes the best out of it. So I think it's pretty worthy that there's a respect ban for Fanny, but I think they should have targeted him more.
Nolan should be the choice here for BTR, especially in the absence of this Faramis. I'm thinking ONIC will get either the 1-1 or the Joy, whatever is left out of that occasion. And also the Guinevere is open, and I'm pretty sure that ONIC likes that. Coach Shiv likes flex heroes, right? So I'm thinking like their opener would be Gwyn plus Nolan/Joy, or maybe Arlott plus Nolan/Joy.
What do you think of Matilda?
Matilda is gonna be secured by BTR. Not gonna be secured by BTR. I don't think Matilda is perfect against Joy, however.
Yeah, and here the fun fact, Luna Ombota literally means Luna the bald uncle in Bahasa Indonesia. So we talked about that. Somehow Wolf knows that. Perhaps, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of secrets that he's keeping to himself.
Yeah, he's not telling us.
I read the dictionary sometimes, you know.
I don't want to touch that.
I listen to Toulouse.
Right now, the Joy has been picked up. For ONIC, I would say this is the evolution of ONIC, because even Yasu has stated that it doesn't matter, even though it's a utility meta, Kyrie can bring in those assassins. But I feel like this is also one of the things that Coach Yep has adapted for every single player, is that even Keyboy is a pick-off hero. He's a pick-off player, but we've seen him time and time again using those Enchantress.
Well, but the most interesting thing here for me is that Team ONIC, you don't just give them an assassin, a good one, you give them the best assassin in the current meta, Nolan.
Yep, which is actually...
What is with this trio?
That is going to be very difficult.
This is the third game we're going to see Joy against Nolan.
Yep, Joy against Nolan, and Valentine against Joy is 100%.
We're only missing Lilia, right?
Yeah, you're only missing Lilia on the side. But Matilda is open, so I think Matilda is a great pick for BTR.
Obvious.
And will they go for the Phobius immediately? I think that should be the case.
I mean, if they don't, it's probably going to get banned out, no?
Yeah, that's right. So Valentina is a good choice. I think it was proven even the last season of MPLs. Arlott Novaria. Okay. I don't like this at all, especially going up against a Nolan. And then you give a big ultimate to the Valentina. Now you can go Matilda if you're ONIC.
Well, BTR Suns at this moment, I don't know what is the reason behind this Novaria pick, because Nolan can simply go in and go out smoothly, take her out. So I don't agree at all whatsoever with that Novaria pick, but that's how BTR wants to go, and that's how Coach Darkness wants to go. What do you think the third pick will be?
I would say Novaria has its uses. It's usually strong on the turtle as well as the Lord fight because you have vision. That's number one, and it's gonna make it easier for your team to set up because we can imagine a situation, especially if they have a Beatrix on their own team. The snipes is gonna come in a little bit easier, and it's gonna help the Arlet out quite a bit with the final slash. So I can see some reason behind this Novaria pick, especially if they're gonna contest around the turtle. My personal worry here is having the Valentina as well as the Terizla, they're going to be pretty strong. The turtle fight as well as the Lord fight as well. So it really depends on BTR who their gold laner is going to be, or more importantly, who their jungler is going to be, making sure that, I mean, it's going to be Joy, but I don't know. I'm thinking, is there going to be a surprise?
Maybe something like Hilda, actually. That might be the choice. I have, honestly...
For BTR?
For both of them.
For both of them, all right.
All right.
So I think, but obviously because the fourth pick is going to be tilting towards ONIC, I think that is BTR, that BTR should be the ones banning it out. Imagine if there will be a Hilda for the side of ONIC, and who can actually stop that? That's Novaria might not be able to do so.
No,
Joy
really.
obviously is not going to be there. So that could be, that is, if there will be any kind of surprise, that might be it.
Well, I'd actually like to see a Minotaur or let's say a setup hero for the side of Team ONIC because they have what like all it takes to have a solid team fight. They have the penalty zone, they have the mobility of Nolan, and you can go on with the rest of the picks that haven't been even shown up yet. BTR on the other side, I think that Kaja was a really good pick for them, even though they banned it.
Yeah, man, as you said, that Minotaur has been banned out because I would say it's pretty good for both teams here. Looking at ONIC, I would say their lineup right now is pretty solid. It's just that for BTR, they need the missing piece here. And the question really is, if they're going to have this Joy in the jungle, the Arlet going to the EXP, as well as the Novaria coming in mid, they gotta make sure that they have enough damage per se, especially in the early stages of the game if they're going to contest for anything, because Novaria has range, kind of has a little bit of damage, but I would argue Novaria needs 1 or 2 items. Joy is the closest to have early game damage, but the setup has to be super good for you to do that.
All the injustice in the world.
A Cho ban instead. Okay, I think Hilda. What is that?
Harif,
Oh!
right? That sounds like Harif.
Oh, that's a good pick.
I mean, you can continue. You don't have to stop.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, we just want to make sure it's like, okay, let's see the
Harif.
picture. Yeah, it is Harif.
Yeah,
That
it
is
a
such
Harry.
a good pick. Why? Because it's a hero that doesn't. I mean, what is a hero that can lose late? Also, it's a hero that is not that dependent on a farm, and it kind of allows Nolan to be like the scaling hero, and then
Exactly.
you have the Harith in the early stages of the game. I think it's smart.
Keyboy has 7 heroes with 100% win rate in MPL ID Season 12, including Matilda, Kadita, and Hilda. The perfect roamer. And now Claude finishing up for BTR. A lot of heroes that need the farm here. I'm a little bit worried.
Hilda might be like disastrous.
I would actually say please for Team ONIC to give me a setup hero. I like with this composition, I would love to see an area crowd control hero because everything everything will align for an area crowd control hero.
Okay, you need a way to kind of maybe a Ruby could be the perfect choice for
Ruby?
ONIC.
Yeah,
I
because
think a Kufra maybe.
Kufra
honestly, there's fault for choice.
for honor. What is that?
Was that Tigreal?
I mean,
Oh,
it is
let's
an
go.
AoE setup.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay.
All right.
I think Tigreal. All right. Why is it good?
What?
It has a reset. It has a way to reset.
I think it's good because it can push the Hilda.
Exactly. It can push the
Exactly.
Hilda and it can also counter
Exactly.
invade.
And it
Because
has
it
area
push.
crowd control.
Exactly. Man, all right.
Coach, he knows how to draft.
Apparently.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe Coach Shep can win championships, you know?
And right now, honestly, looking at the draft, my only worry for BTR Suns is that all of the members, well, except for Hilda, they need a little bit of time to really ramp up to have that damage. So the Hilda can slow down ONIC, but is it going to be good enough?
In the early stage, yes. I think, I think Hilda is generally good, especially because you want to have the Harith in the early stages. Is it going to be enough against ONIC? I think the Tiger changed my idea about it. I thought that Hilda will be like deadly, obviously. Had it not been for this Tigreal pickup, ONIC would have had a much worse time. Because I'm thinking, like, what are the other heroes that can actually protect the jungle? Thinking Ruby, Kufra is there, maybe Grok along the way, but I think Tigreal might have been the best choice for that specifically.
Well, Tigreal also with the latest update, he is one of these undeniable forces of nature. He just, whenever he uses his ultimate, it's difficult.
Yep.
It's so difficult for any opponent to just escape it or to even prevent it from happening without that Diggy. And the Diggy is not here for Team BTR Suns. BTR Suns, I would say they have a lot of mobility. They have a lot to do, a lot of services actually to provide for Super Opa. But apparently, I don't know if they will be able to have the enough amount of pressure, since you guys said that Tigreal can avoid the Hilda early game pressure.
So Hilda wants to go in the jungle, and Tigreal can push Hilda either away from the jungle or inside the turret.
Yeah.
And that can be very deadly for Hilda because you want to slow down. The fact that Hilda doesn't care if Hilda dies a lot in the early game, but having the Tigreal, you can force it out. And like you said, the implosion now, it has an instant stun.
Yep.
If BTR is not careful, and later on we're going to see if they have a lot of Purifies. Because if they don't have Purifies, we've seen how Keyboy has set up quite a lot for ONIC. He can be a surprise factor, and the difference between BTR and ONIC can fight early on. They don't need the items for them to be aggressive.
There are two M's that Tigreal can do.
All right.
First is mirror what Hilda is doing.
Yes.
Which, if Hilda goes for the invade, he can also go for his own invade.
All right.
And then the other M is called man-to-man, wherein he can actually be in front of the Hilda.
Man to woman.
Yes. In this
Hilda
case.
is a woman.
We cannot assume that.
Oh, you know what? That's right. Oh man. Why did I say that? I didn't. I mean, like, why did I assume, right?
Yeah.
My bad. My bad.
I'm
sorry,
out of this conversation.
Sorry, Mr. Wolfman.
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
Can I assume that you're... I don't like this conversation.
Yeah, I don't like this conversation.
Me, I'm
like
out
this
of it.
conversation.
I'm taking my hands out of it.
All right.
CW here. Please explain more. Is it because the resilience coming in from the chrono dashes makes it good against this BTR lineup?
You know what? That's actually very correct. You know, you really have to be an analyst, dude.
It's like I know the heroes and stuff, isn't it? I don't know.
I think you'll do a great job at it, you know?
I don't know. I feel like maybe in a previous life.
Maybe in your previous life.
Yeah.
In this life or the other. We'll know.
Well, Team BTR actually, if we have like had enough talking about the draft, and I think that so far Team ONIC has won the draft, but still the game is not only about the draft, it's also about the rotation itself. We haven't seen BTR on the international stage. Will it get underneath their skin? Because the pressure is real. The pressure is real.
I would say the leadership coming in from Luna, because he was here during M3, I feel like he should have gotten a lot of experience to really calm down the team, calm down their nerves. And I like that you point out the macro, because there's a hidden ability for the Claude, which is you can split push. You have a Joy as well. You can split push. So if they can catch ONIC slipping, it's like, oh, ONIC is too tunnel vision, thinking about the lore, thinking about the fights and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, where's the Claude? Oh, the Claude's pushing? Where's the Joy? Oh, the Joy's pushing as well? A lot of things can happen. It's all about how you're going to use your draft. And I feel like BTR Suns, they have a secondary win condition in terms of creating a lot of chaos and then winning the game when ONIC is so focused on something else.
I'd like the late game chances of BTR in this particular game.
Definitely,
And they have a way to kind of deal with it. Now, there's a hidden tech actually from the Tigreal, because you also have a knock-up, right?
Yes, he does.
Which is great versus the Claude normally. And you can tag it up. I mean, you just build up like a Tigras as well as Blade Armor, and then you're A-OK. The real question is, can they actually contain the Joy in the latter portions of the game? What else do they have apart?
No. Wolf, when you're a pro player, you don't ask questions. Yes, you can.
That's
yes, you can.
That's why I'm not a pro player.
It's like, okay, imagine a situation when they're talking about, can you yes! You have to say yes immediately. This is the spirit you need for the World Championship. In my previous life, I've experienced. Sometimes logic is not the answer.
Yeah, do you know that in pro teams that's actually very much applicable, because if you show some signs of like doubt,
hesitation,
that's not good for the team.
Oh my god. Maybe
Well,
I should be in a pro
Maybe
team.
you
It's
should
like
be
I
in a
know
pro-
about these things.
Exactly. I wonder why.
Where did I
how-
get that experience?
where? I wonder.
I don't know. I mean, you should ask him. But I do feel that if there will be like a national team for Malaysia, maybe you have a shot. You know.
Maybe. It's almost like I have two. It's almost like I have 2 medals under my belt, but you know, it's
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. We'll never know.
Yeah.
We'll
Boots
never
was
know.
here. Does he look like Boots?
Where?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Ah.
Maybe.
Arguably.
Maybe if he has a mustache.
Arguably.
Yeah. Oh, Boots is looking out. He's like, yeah. Compare us. Maybe if he has a mustache.
Huh.
We'll see.
The
we'll
mustache
see.
solves it for you.
What does this mean?
Whoa.
Sanamaki's
Can
Angkatabi?
I hope I get a
Okay.
kiss.
Oh!
I hope somebody who's beside me gives me a kiss. Something like that.
Ah.
And she
And-
gave it to him.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Ask and you shall receive.
Okay.
The courage
Huh.
to ask is what you need.
The classic carry four finger hold. Do you know
Oh.
what that is? Can you even try to do it? Do you know how to do it, Lafel?
Hey, we're in the game. Yes,
Okay.
your turn.
Well, let's see together, will the Indonesian team call it a day, or will the Brazilians have to samba all night long? Let's see. Team BTR Suns up to the challenge against Team ONIC, and we have just landed to the land of dawn. No one knows what's gonna happen. We might see some surprises, we might see some predictions being right, or even proven wrong.
Hey, I have a 0% win rate on predictions. Though I predicted for ONIC, it will be quite a surprising turn here. But either way, we've seen a little bit about the interaction between Keyboy as well as Luna on Botak here, where Luna tried to slow them down, but you know, Keyboy is just like, nah, fam, nah, I'm
fam.
gonna protect my jungler.
Harith is such an interesting hero. I think that in the early stages,
Oh,
some
interesting
people will prioritize
Huh.
yeah.
Ah, I think they'll prioritize the kill here. They are looking for Super Opa, but they have just trapped Kyrie out of time, recalling on the body.
Oh, we can
Okay.
even hear the Filipino cast was like, ooh, doing that to Kyrie. But I have to ask,
That was weird.
CW with the Festival of Blood.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually super duper surprising. I'm not gonna pretend like an expert in Harith, but I will have to ask some of my friends, maybe someone from the pro scene to understand what they like about that emblem. But it kind of makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
Because you deal big amount of damage,
Exactly,
but
yeah.
you don't have the best
I would
dueling potential.
I
you
would
know?
say it's the chrono vision making it worth it, but now
Oh.
right around the turtle.
Right now we can see that Keyboy is pushing the Hilda away. Kyrie goes in and just takes the turtle to his favor, to the favor of his team, and Black is out. He blacked out.
Oh, that was such a great play coming from ONIC in a way that they literally just outplayed Bigatron Suns in that regard. The timing of the stun, for example, and then obviously with the retry that Kyrie was able to take out. Turns out like that death was just sacrifice coming out from Kyrie. It's like a ritual.
Yeah, again, they have to lose one to win one. Maybe that's what they were aiming for. But either way, right now we're looking at the situation. Looks like ONIC, they just want to win the lane because Luna on Botak.
Kyrie finds Luna on Botak, and Boots didn't need to go the extra mile, even though he did the penalty zone, and the penalty has been paid by the Hilda electrifying beats just to find his way out.
Well done. Because they have found Luna, which is interestingly not yet level 4. That's what I'm wondering. Maybe they kind of messed up some of the gold earlier on, because the only reason why you will not get level 4 at 3 minutes as the roamer is when you are late when it comes to picking up the roam boots, or if somebody has lower gold than you, which is a massive mess up coming out from a
Keyboy
BTR.
pushes him away, and look at that. He just makes a clean kill for ONIC team.
Honestly, I just want to answer you there, Wolf, because we saw how Sans was denying Syndra of those minions. Perhaps that's one of the triggers. Maybe. Right? Perhaps the first or the second wave, Sans was able to push out the Novaria away from the minions, even though Novaria could farm up pretty safely because you can shoot from a distance. And I don't know, it could be one of those small details that prevented Luna on
Yep.
getting those levels.
Look at Keyboy just going to be standing in front of the orange buff. He might be going for the reset, but Kyrie is already level 7. If he gets to level 8, this will be massive because that means that the turtle will be theirs. Buzizio, though, with the Retribution on cooldown, 14 seconds for Kyrie. They might want to fight this.
Well, they might find an opening, but I think that they are just pushed away. They see Keyboy coming. They know that there is trouble. Kyrie takes down that turtle, and now we see that there is a final slash and also a final ending for Team ONIC. They just have that Tigreal. They just win the team fight, and not just that, they take the turtle.
How the hell did you win a team fight? A turtle fight without the Retribution? I don't understand it. ONIC is just on a different level. But I guess, you know, actually I know the answer, which was zoning them out.
Bozizos out.
Oh no.
Okay. Bigatron Science have to work together here because I understand what you're saying, Will, because just now we saw Luna Umbota actually diving straight to Kyrie, trying to have a little bit of crowd control because that's a little bit of displacements in their skills that, yeah, you could prevent or you could slow down the Retribution. But during that time, Bazizia was in a good position to really contest for the turtle, and down at bot, it looked like CW is like, I don't care who you are, I'm taking you down.
1,000 gold lead for the jungler. That's Kyrie having 1,000 more gold over his competition this time. And that spells a lot of problems for BTR.
We have to specify, what does 1,000 difference mean? It means that Kyrie has one completed item and Buzizio doesn't have one.
Yep.
No completed items just yet.
That's right.
That's a big difference.
Massive difference, in fact. And ONIC are leading by 3.7k gold. The reason why we like the Harith versus the BTR, it's not just about the Claude, it's mainly about the Joy, where the Joy is not necessarily going to be able to take out this Harith, especially because of the Festival of Blood, right? All you have to do is to land one of your dashes and one Synchro Fission perhaps, and then you're already A-okay when it comes to like surviving against this Harith, against this Joy, I mean. And also, Harith can take the Winter Truncheon eventually. Typically, right, the marksman cannot survive the Joy because even if they get the Wind of Nature, they still get taken out by the Joy. But the Harith is a natural carrier of the Winter Truncheon, which means that the Joy is not a problem for him at all.
I would say that it is a harsh lesson being taught to Team BTR at this moment. Just a dominating game since minute 1, even though they had Kyrie and they had the first blood upon him, but no use, not at all.
Yeah, and as we said, Bigatron Suns, they need the items. So right now, since ONIC has a gold lead, this 5,000 gold lead feels like 7,000 gold lead just because Bigatron Suns, even if ONIC makes a mistake, the only one that can realistically kill is Kyrie. And that's if he dives too deep, like inside a turret or something. Then they have enough damage to actually do something about it.
Great push from ONIC. 5.4k in fact. Look at the gold difference between each matchup. 1.6k now for Kyrie versus Buzizio.
Right now, the only thing is I see like CW doesn't care about his positioning, not in a bad way, but meaning like, if someone ganks him, can they really do anything about it? Can they kill CW? Because right now, he's a gold laner with the ability of an EXP laner.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyrie goes in and he might find that Hilda, but he manages to escape. Boots is now trying to do a lot of damage, but oh, he gets a taste of his own medicine. Black goes away, even though I thought it was a definite kill.
But then ONIC is able to push top, so that's still a positive thing that it's going in their favor. Positive gains coming out from ONIC, and they push the mid lane as well.
Right now, it does seem like ONIC is just taking the opportunities. Like, yeah, Bigatron Suns, you're not going to do anything, so we're just going to act like you're not around. So if they want to push, they just push. Bigatron Suns, they need to figure out a way to engage or to catch mistakes. But Kyrie goes in, and Luna, Bota, you're a tank, and you're taking that much damage.
That's the cost of leaving Kyrie farm. He just saw that I would say that this is a message saying that there is no use of the ultimate at this moment. Just let's use it here.
Yep. He says, Zorn.
That's a statement.
Yeah.
He says, Zorn, okay, you go for recore TPs. I use my ultimate.
Yeah, let's up-level the game.
Yeah, it's like a...
Now that's a flex.
Now that's a flex.
Now that's a flex. Recalling, you're not really losing anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Using your ult and showing your opponents like, hey, I don't have an ult. If there's any time for you to go in, guess what? Now's the time.
He was one flicker away from like having the ultimate level up in this competition.
That's true. That's very true, actually. Let's see what will happen. Obviously, the dominant size is such a good pickup for a T grill because or Tie grill because you open the map anyways, so you are in front. And with the Starlim side and the Feather of Heaven with the Holy Crystal, oh my God, Chewe can one shot or two shot people now.
Not gonna lie, just the Starlium Scythe, I feel like it's enough.
Yeah.
Anything more than that at this point kind of feels like overkill. And let's look at this. Keyboy has his implosion again. So with the minions coming in and him having the flicker, he could have a big impact here. Like if Bigatron Sans is grouping up together as like a natural way you want to defend, Keyboy might punish that.
I think that everyone's now settled down to see if ONIC will make it one of the shortest games so far in the M5. BTR are in a really bad position. They are in no position actually to make a successful defense. Let's see together what's gonna happen. Will it be the finish for Team ONIC or maybe just taking the inhibitor turrets, taking it down layer by layer? ONIC is just taking the top lane inhibitor turret, mid lane inhibitor turret. I think that the upcoming turn is the bot lane inhibitor turret. ONIC by far are not even trying to get inside that base yet. They are inside the base. Look at ONIC. They will see now that Joy is trying to prevent the minions from coming in. It's just one inhibitor turret away from falling apart.
Well, Keyboy is just one flicker away from doing something amazing.
Super Opa is trying to deal so much damage, but look at the back line. Look at here.
Oh my
look
God.
at Keyboy. Look at Team ONIC. They are punishing Team BTR to the limit. No one can do anything at this moment. CW with that triple king looking for that maniac that can be offered, but Boots say no. Boots just says no. ONIC team with the dominant game. Team BTR are looking for a miracle, but their voices cannot grow through the sky, where the Sky Kings themselves are sitting there.
Let me just say congratulations to ONIC for winning the first match of this best of 3. And it went quicker than I thought. Like, what was that, sub 11 minutes?
Yep.
ONIC just did whatever they want, and there's nothing that Bigatron Sans can really do against them.
Wow. Wow.
I would say there's layers that ONIC won. One of them was the draft.
The draft, yeah. Especially because of the trap that they set up. There was a time where we said that the Hilda will be deadly, right? I remember, like, even just the second set of bans, we already brought up that hero.
I remember.
Yep. And I said that it will be great for both of them.
Yeah.
Because they're playing, I mean, Joy is there, then Nolan is on the other side, so it kind of makes sense. And then Hilda was in the hands of BTR all of a sudden. And then it kind of felt like, at the end, okay, it was Coach Yeb and the gang just setting up a trap. They know that it will be picked up. Hilda will be picked up eventually. They have the answer. That is the Tigreal.
Well, I think that at some point, playing against ONIC themselves was one of these, let's say it had its own effect on the game itself, because BTR were so passive in the early game. I wouldn't say like their draft can make them go aggressive. You can like tell us about it more, but they felt like, oh, we're up against ONIC, it's hard.
Before you talk, let me just say, it looks like ONIC, they're not hiding anything. Like, this Tigro pick and everything, it looks like they've already planned it.
Yeah.
Even against Bigatron Sans, it's like, yeah, it's a good hero. We're going to pick it up.
When you have 5 Super Saiyans, you can actually play anything. So I think that's. But kidding aside, why I agree with you is because there was a weird interaction where why was the Hilda not level 4 when the Tiger was already level 4? It was like way past the 2-minute mark. So it's like what, almost 3 minutes. And for some reason, the Hilda didn't have his ultimate. And it was Keyboy already like, what, halfway through the level 5. Our MVP eventually was Keyboy 2, 0, and 4. And I think that they played the mind game so well. The fact that BTR, there were bad decisions in many parts of this game, especially also with the draft that they prepared. So that meant that Keyboy can even like spend his ultimate without even being scared about his opponents. Let's look at the highlights brought to us by Grab Unlimited. So this was Kyrie getting the kill again, and it will happen many times in this game. Look at Keyboy just zoning out on Botak. They just take him out so easily because of the draft, and for some reason they don't have the retribution, but they lost the turtle fight. This is specifically the part that I want to say where I felt that yes, just going up against ONIC alone already kind of neutralized what BTR wanted to do in this game, nullified what they wanted to do in this game.
Sun shouldn't have survived here.
Yeah, so,
let me just say
yeah,
that.
I agree.
Oh,
Look at that beautiful implosion, and the BMI, unfortunately, wasn't enough.
Yeah,
So
it's a missed timing, but again, this also shows the composure
Yeah.
that ONIC has. It's like, oh yeah, Suns is getting attacked, but does it really matter? Not so much.
yeah.
But I think at this moment, one of those things you said before the game even starts is that Kyrie, if he wants to compete against others, he have to compete with his
Yeah.
own team
Yeah,
first.
yeah,
So I think at
exactly.
this moment, the MVP just loves
Yeah.
Keyboy.
We were talking about the Festival of Blood
Yep.
pick up earlier by CW, and we saw how good it was, especially the duel that they did.
No, no,
the
no, no, no.
base.
I would say we didn't really see it because
Okay.
by the time we see the fight, it's already over.
That's
Right?
true.
We don't really see it in action.
That's true. But in the last duel between CW as well as Super Upa, you saw that CW was very low when it comes to 1 HP. Then when he lands the normal attack after the dash, there was a lot of HP that he was able to
Yeah.
get back. And he didn't have the concentrated energy actually in that fight. I mean, he got that after the fact. So that's how you feel like, okay, okay, maybe the Festival of Blood works for the Harriet.
No, honestly, look at the amount of lifesteal because hybrid lifesteal by the Scythe, lifesteal by the Feather of Heaven,
Yep.
and then spell vamp from the
Festival of
concentrated
Blood.
energy. So he has 3 items that gives him 3 different ways to heal,
Yep.
and the emblem set.
Exactly.
Well, at some point I was a bit worried about the Onyx late game, but they seem to be like they intended to finish earlier, like as early as possible.
That's true, especially because of the Harith as well as the Nolan that they have and the
Mhm.
Tigreal. I would say that BTR also had a plan to do that as well. Going for the Hilda always tells me that, okay, you want to secure the early game, but they went in for Joy and Claude. I myself find it greedy, right? If we go for Joy, typically your marksman should not be a scaling hero because
I agree.
you don't want to have 2 scaling heroes in the game,
Uh-huh.
especially if you already have the jungle from the Joy.
I'd
The
agree, they have
Claude
3.
is going to be difficult. Yeah, that's actually very true. So only the Hilda wanted to win the early game. And because they didn't have any other hero to supplement that early game, that meant that Hilda will always be taken out. And true enough, Luna just got destroyed by the entirety of ONIC because he doesn't have anyone to help him punish the aggression. Imagine if they had something along the lines of a Fredrin, perhaps, or maybe a Baksha, which was banned out, unfortunately. They will have someone to go with the Hilda, so that when they do initiate against ONIC, at
Yeah.
least they will get something out of it.
Something has to be said as well. There's 2 ways for you to play the mid. Either you're going to roam and help out the side lanes, or you're going to force your opponents to stay in the mid lane.
Yep.
And having the heal that is going to be roaming around, not really helping out Syndra, and Sans, it was pretty obvious that he won the lane, and he won the lane hard. He made sure that this Novaria was a non-factor.
Yep.
Novaria was picked 3rd, but in the game, I couldn't blame you if you forgot that was a Novaria because Sans is man-to-manning on this
Yeah.
Novaria as well. It's like, you're
Yep.
not going to help out your team. Super Upa is not going to be having any help. Black
Yep.
is not going to be having any help. So on it, they just have man-to-man defense
Yep.
that everyone just say, okay, individually, you have to handle your opponents.
Yep.
But we saw plenty of times that whenever Keyboy catches someone, everyone is there to follow up.
And actually, whenever I saw Harriet, I knew the price BTR had to pay during the game because he was free farming, and that's what you get.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why the drafting coming out from ONIC was just, it's just perfect. Chef's kiss, as they would say. Because you activate all of your lanes. If you're going for assassins, and this will be a recurring theme all throughout M5, and I hope that you guys are taking notes. One thing that you always have to remember is if you pick up Joy or Nolan, particularly the Joy, you will not have enough time to farm. If you get invaded, it's very hard, very difficult to just get back to the game. But let me take you back to game 1 of Homeboys versus Geek Fam. The moment you get into that late game, already you can see how strong the Joy was. The Joy died 4 times in the early and mid stage of the game, but didn't die in the late game. And this is the idea from BTR. However, they chose 3 scaling
Yeah.
heroes.
They want to ramp up, but they didn't have a ramp.
Yes.
All right.
Their ramp was this Hilda, but as we saw evidently, I feel like even they didn't thought like, there's no way
Yeah.
they're going to pick up a Tigreal here. And the Tigreal really did punish what Luna on Boatag is doing.
Yeah.
So I would say this game is a good way for you to learn how to draft. And this is the advantage that Coach Yep has when coaching this ONIC team. Everyone can play anything. I feel like if he asks Kyrie to use a tech, he's like, sure. If you really think that's the best draft, sure, I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I admire that because sometimes you have to just trust your coach, and sometimes you have to believe in his goals. And seeing CW, I know that Harith is playable at the gold lane. We all know that, but at some point, I think that CW might have had this argument of like, oh, I can play this marksman, but
Yeah.
again, you have to align and do
Yeah.
the perfect synergy thing.
Yeah, but then again, if you're gonna be looking at this particular game, it's just a lot of mechanical skills that actually ONIC was able to show us, which is weird because Kyrie, the only death that ONIC actually gave to BTR was literally the death up top where Kyrie questionably
See, they
went.
just have to die once.
Yeah,
I think he
that
got
might be a
mad.
ritual.
At one point, I think that Kyrie got mad from that kill. Yeah, he died in a really bad way. He was
Yeah.
just zoned out, waiting
Yeah.
to hang dry underneath the turret.
Which is weird because they went into the gold lane, right? I think the metagame tells us that you might want to go to the XP lane instead of the gold lane because